welcome to today's episode of The Look. I'm your host, Jade Page Barrett. Today we will be getting an inside look on our students' opinion on the new legislation passed by Florida State Congress about teachers carrying guns. Since the shooting at Stoneman Douglas, Florida lawmakers have voted in favor of a new bill that will allow teachers to carry firearms in school if the school district and sheriff departments both agree. Here with us to talk about it is Kira Williams and Anthony Hearn. What is your response to the new laws passed by the Florida legislation, Kira Williams?
I disagree with the fact that they passed the law. Why? Why? Because it is adding problems in America because you never know what these teachers have. You never know what they have, any kind of disabilities. You may say the shooter may have, mental problems, but that is never a guarantee that the teacher may not as well. It's also causing the fact that it's having more liability and it's more reachable to students to discover these weapons in these teachers' classroom, causing another issue within the classroom other than somebody coming into the school and causing an issue.
Now, Anthony Hearn, how do you feel about the response to the new laws passed by the Florida legislation?
I totally agree with the new law passed because I feel as if the gym teacher that died in the shooting, if he had a gun, he put his whole life on the line. And if he had a gun, he would shoot back. And there's other rumors going around that the police officers at the school weren't necessarily protecting the students. They were ducked off themselves. They were protecting themselves. They weren't acting as security guards. And if the teachers have guns, they'd be able to shoot back and put their own lives on the line for the students.
Thank you. Now, the next question is, why would you be okay or not okay with the Republican government, Rick Scott, signing off on the new law?
Like I stated before, it's not okay. It's not okay because you're putting the students at risk more. And I want to rebuttal on what Anthony said, because if we had an active shooter right now, and if I was a teacher, and even if I had a concealed weapon in my classroom, I would not be risking my life to go out there and aim at the shooter where I can have my students inside the classroom protected and away from the active gunshots, rather than being out in the hallways and putting my life as well as my students at risk.
Thank you. And now for Anthony's opinion.
As I previously stated, I agree because teachers, they have a certain appreciation for the students. They all tell us in the beginning of the year, we are the future. So if we are the future, you should be willing to lay your life on the line to protect us. And as a gym teacher who died taking bullets for the students, he truly demonstrated that. And I feel as if he had a weapon, he would have shot back and most likely prevented the accident from starting itself.
Thank you. Our next question is, are you okay with the gun restrictions that comes with the bill? For example, ban the sale of possession of bump fire stocks, the buying age increasing from 18 to 21, and a 3-day waiting period to receive a firearm. Kira Williams?
I am okay with the restrictions. It's a difference. To me, honestly, it's not a major difference, but the previous shooter at Stoneman Douglas was also under age of 21. So, of course, if he was to purchase a weapon, he would not be allowed to. So there is a little bit of restriction, but still in America, overall, it's not that much restriction. So it's kind of a fair answer with me.
Thank you. And now Anthony Haynes.
I feel it really isn't much of a difference. It wouldn't really matter, 18 to 21. However, in the case of the Stoneman Douglas shooting, it would have made a difference because the shooter was a former student. He was 19, if I can recall correctly, and he was a former student. If he was 21 and had to purchase the gun and had to wait a 3-day period, it probably would have made a difference. Time difference, spanning, and it probably would have prevented it from happening. But in other cases, from people with real disabilities and going undetected and having the 3-year difference, it really wouldn't make a difference.
Thank you. And now for our last question. Miami-Dade and the Broward County School District states that they are not in support of this law and choose to not allow the teachers to own firearms. As per the section in the law that state that both the local school district and local sheriff's department have to agree on the teachers carrying firearms. What is your opinion on the subject, Kara Williams?
I agree with this because in Florida, majority of Florida's district is taken up by Miami-Dade and also Broward County. So I agree with the fact that they have to get their consult to carry weapons, as well as the sheriff department of Broward and Dade, because I know Sheriff Israel Scott wouldn't allow this because I know he's against of a lot of the NRA rules. So I do agree with the fact that they don't allow this law to be passed, and I do like the fact that they have to get their consent.
Thank you. And now Anthony Hearn.
I'd have to hold neutral ground on the subject because it's kind of so-so. The school districts of Miami Broward, they should know how the students are, and each school is a different environment, whether it be maybe a black community or a white community. The school and the teachers should know how the students are and the type of relations that they build with the students. So that should be something the teachers really have to come together for, in the school districts and all that. But however, the sheriff's department should know how the neighborhood is around the schools and the numbers and the homicide rates and all that. They should know if that is contributing to how the students are being, raised and brought up in those environments. So if they can come together and come with one final answer, it's totally up to them, and I hold neutral ground on this.
Well, that's all we got for today. I'm Jade Page Bear, and that concludes The Look.